All right, so today we're diving into WEMIX, a project that's making one of the biggest, boldest bets in all of Web3 gaming. Now, this isn't just another coin or token. We're talking about an entire ecosystem that's trying to fuse video games, NFTs, and real working digital economies all onto a single platform. So let's break down what that actually means.
When you boil it all down, this whole experiment really comes down to one massive question. Can a video game have a real economy? I mean, a truly functioning, sustainable one? It's a huge question, and honestly, the answer could completely change gaming as we know it. Okay, so first up, let's explore what this new gaming universe is all about. So, what is WEMIX? Really? Well, it's a blockchain ecosystem built by WeMade. And these guys aren't new to the scene. They're a veteran video game company that's been making games for years. Their big goal here is to build the entire infrastructure so games can easily plug in tokens and NFTs, letting players actually own and trade their digital stuff. And this right here is what makes WeMix so different. You see, a lot of crypto projects start with the technology and then try to build a game on top. WeMix is the other way around. It's an established gaming company stepping into the wild, experimental world of Web3. They're coming at this from a gamer's perspective first, not just to developers. Next, let's pop the hood and look at the engine that makes this whole thing run, the blockchain and the token. This slide just lays it all out perfectly. You can see the trade-off WeMix is making. Instead of trying to build the most decentralized blockchain in the world, which is often more of an ideological thing, they've built a high-speed train. The top priority here isn't ideology, it's performance. It's all about speed, scale, and super low fees. And when you're talking about a game with potentially millions of tiny transactions happening all the time, that's not just a nice to have, it's an absolute necessity. And right at the center of this whole universe is the WeMix token. It's the fuel for everything. And as you can see, it's not just for speculating, it's got real utility. You use it to pay for transactions, to buy and sell swords and armor, to get into their DeFi services, and even to vote on the future of the network. The whole point is for it to be constantly used, not just hoarded. Which brings us to the million-dollar question, the biggest challenge for any Web3 gaming project out there. Can they create an economic model that actually lasts? See, in these games, tokens are often given out as rewards. That's great, but it creates this constant downward pressure because people are always going to want to sell them. So the real trick, the real challenge, is creating enough genuine demand to balance out all that selling. And that balance is everything. It's literally what separates a real lasting economy from a bubble that's just built on hype. I mean, we've all seen the old models fail, right? Those early play-to-earn games often turned into systems where money from new players was just used to pay out the older ones. That's a recipe for disaster. WeMix is trying to do something different, something you might call planned own. The idea is that the value should come from two things: the game being genuinely fun and you having true ownership of digital items that people actually want. And that leads to the ultimate dilemma for this project's survival. Are people going to play these games for the fun of it, or are they just showing up to extract value and cash out tokens? Because let's be honest, without the fun, there's no way to have a sustainable economy. So with all that in mind, let's take a step back and look at the big picture, the advantages and the risks of this massive bet. If you had to point to one single thing that gives WeMix a major edge, it's got to be its vertical integration. They basically control every single piece of the puzzle. I mean, just think about it. They have the experienced game company WeMade. They went and built their own blockchain. They're developing the games themselves, and they've designed this whole integrated economy around their token. That gives them an absolutely incredible amount of control over the entire user experience, from the moment you log in to the moment you cash out. And here's the trade-off laid out for you. On one hand, the advantages are huge. That vertical control, the integrated economy, having real game developers behind it, that's powerful stuff. But on the other side, the risks are just as big. You've got intense competition from everywhere, a ton of regulatory uncertainty, and at the end of the day, everything, and I mean everything, depends on whether they can make games that are actually fun to play. So if you really want to check the health of this ecosystem, please don't just look at the token price. The real vital signs are things like this. Are they launching new games people are excited about? How many people are actually logging in and playing every day? What's the trading volume look like on their NFT marketplace? Are other developers choosing to build on their platform? That's the stuff that tells you if this thing is truly alive and kicking. So where does this all go? Looking ahead, you can kind of picture three possible futures. The dream scenario is a runaway success, right? WEMIX becomes a go-to hub for Web3 gaming. A more realistic outcome might be that it carves out a nice, sustainable niche with a loyal community around a handful of really popular games. And then, of course, there's the risk of failure, where the games just don't land, and players move on to the next big thing.
At the end of the day, what we're looking at here isn't just some random crypto experiment. This is a serious, calculated, and yeah, very high-risk bet on the future of gaming. And it's being placed by a company that actually knows how to make games.
But this whole thing really boils down to one final, huge question that goes way beyond just WEMIX. When all is said and done, do games really need a blockchain to be fun, engaging, and successful? The answer to that is going to decide the fate of not just this one project, but probably an entire industry.